Hello. Okay, this video is going to be talking about conditional sentences in English. I am going to attempt to tell you about the 4 different types of conditional sentences in just one short video. Let's see if I can do it. So, the first one, well, first of all, talking about conditional sentences. Conditional sentences means that you have a sentence usually with 2 parts, 2 different clauses. You have the condition clause and the result clause. The condition clause gives some kind of a situation, and the result clause tells the consequence of that situation. So the first kind that we're going to look at here is fact. In many grammar books, they call this the factual conditional, and we're going to be looking right now at the present time. So this is used for facts, things that are true, that are generally true. Every time one thing happens or one situation exists, then another thing is the result. So these are the 2 different clauses. This is the condition clause and this is the result clause. When the condition clause is first, you put a comma. If you did it the other way and you put the result clause first, then there's no comma. The condition clause starts with if in most situations. If I drink coffee, I get jittery. I'm using an example of a fact from my own life. So I don't do very well with caffeinated coffee. And every time I drink it, and if I drink it, I get jittery. Jittery is that kind of shaky feeling, and inside your heart's beating faster. Not a good feeling. Very common for many people with coffee. So this is my fact. I'm using the simple present in both the condition and the result because facts are usually using the simple present. You're talking about something that is true every time, any time. Okay. Second kind would be a prediction conditional. This would be also called a factual conditional for the future. We're not talking about a general truth here. We're talking about a specific situation. So here, if I drink this coffee, I'm now talking about a specific situation, a specific cup of coffee in my hand, on the table, somewhere. If I drink this coffee, I'll get jittery. So what's different here? The condition again is using the present tense. This might seem a little strange because I'm not drinking the coffee right now. This is talking about the future. However, when you have a condition clause in English, you cannot use a future verb tense. We use the present tense to talk about the future. This is true for condition clauses and for time clauses in English. We don't say if I will or if she will. Just don't do it. Use the present tense and we understand from the context if the idea is future. So if I drink this coffee, this is the result clause. The result clause uses the future tense if you're talking about the future. So we use will here. I will get jittery, future tense. So these are our 2 kinds of factual conditionals. Now we're going to move on to talking about hypothetical conditionals. Hypothetical, it's kind of a long word, but this is talking about a situation that does not exist in reality. It is an imagined situation. You could also say it is speculation. Speculation, to speculate. To imagine is to think about a situation that is not real right now, but it's in your head. You have the situation. Many grammar books call these unreal conditionals. I don't usually like to use that term because I find that students sometimes have a mistaken idea, thinking that you're talking about something that isn't really a true result of something. That's not the situation. We're still talking about the expected result of a situation. But the difference is with these, the situations don't exist. With these, the situation does exist, and with this, the situation might exist. So here I say, if I drank coffee every day, do I drink coffee every day? No, I don't. That's why this is not factual. This is just imagined. How do we make this different from a factual conditional? We need to communicate the idea that it's not the true, real situation. So the way that we do that is we take the verb and we move it one step back. When I say move it one step back, that means changing from simple present to simple past, changing from simple past to past perfect, changing from present progressive to past progressive, changing from present perfect to past perfect. We are not changing the time idea. We are only changing the form of the verb. We understand that this is talking about the present or the future. This is present or future hypothetical. If you think that this is talking about the past, you're going to be very confused. This is talking about the present, but we need the verb to have a past form to communicate the idea that it is hypothetical. And then when we hear this, if I drank coffee every day, and we understand that it is hypothetical present. Okay, then we have the result. I would feel jittery all the time. Instead of using will, we use would. We want to use would for the result of a hypothetical conditional. Most of the time, you're going to use would plus the base form. Again, this communicates the idea that this is not the situation in reality. Do I feel jittery all the time? No, I don't, because I don't drink coffee every day. So we need to communicate. This is just imagined. I would feel jittery all the time. You can also use could, should, or might. Could is to give the idea of ability. You have the ability to do something. In this situation, you can't use could. It doesn't make any sense. You can't talk about the ability to feel jittery. What if the example were about having money? If I had $1,000, I could give it to you. That just means I would have the ability to give it to you. But there's a difference between would and could. Would is the expected result. It's the intended result. It's what we expect will happen. Could, we don't know if it'll happen or not. We're only talking about the ability for something to happen. It's a different idea. Should, idea that something's a good idea. So maybe you would say that if I had $1,000, I should share it with you. Maybe you think that's the best idea. Might means you don't know. This may be or may not be the result. If I had $1,000, I might share it with you. I'm not sure. Okay? So, this is present or future. How about the past? If you're thinking about a situation in the past that didn't happen, again, only imagined, only speculation. Hypothetical past. What are you going to do? We can't use the simple past because the simple past is the idea of the present. So if we want the idea of the past, you need to go one step back to the past perfect using had and the past participle. If I had drunk coffee last night, this communicates the idea that I didn't drink coffee last night. We're only imagining the situation. If I had drunk coffee last night, I wouldn't have slept well. Making the past form of would uses would have plus a past participle. I wouldn't have slept well. This is the expected result of this imagined situation. It's also possible to use could or might. Could, again, meaning ability. If you had called me yesterday, I could have come to help you. Talking about the ability to do something. And might, again, meaning maybe. I didn't include should because using should have gives idea of past regret, which is a little bit different. I know some grammar books include should, but I think it's very unusual, so I didn't include it. All right, so these are the hypothetical, present or future, hypothetical past. Now, just to make things a little bit more complicated, it is possible to mix and match. You can have a condition from this time and a result from this time, or a condition from this time and a result from this time. How can that be? Well, think about it. It's very possible to have a condition in the past with a present result, or a condition in the past with a future result, right? Many situations like that in life. So this is quite a common mixed time conditional. Let's look at this example here. If I had drunk coffee this morning. Did I drink coffee this morning? No, I didn't. So just imagine, if I had drunk coffee this morning, I would be feeling jittery. I'm talking about the result now that is imagined. Notice here, this is a present idea. Would plus a base form. This is the base form of be with the present participle, which means we're talking about right now. You can do this. You can use just the base form, would feel, talking about simple verb tense, or you can use the be plus the present participle for a progressive idea. Anyway, this is a condition in the past and a result now. You have to take each part separately. What is the time idea of the condition? Use that. What is the time idea of the result? Use that. They're not always the same. Just because this is past doesn't mean this is past. Is it possible to have it the other way? To have a present condition and a past result? Actually, it is. If you are thinking that you use the present time to talk about a fact, you could still be talking about this fact in the past, and then the past result of that. So here, if I were able to drink coffee, normally we would use the simple present. I am able, I am not able to drink coffee. So instead of the present, we use the simple past. If I were able to drink coffee, and then the result in the past, last night, I would have drunk some coffee with you last night. So I'm talking about a general truth for the condition and a result talking about last night in the past. This is not so common, but it is possible. One thing I want you to notice here, when you're using the be verb in a hypothetical conditional, we use were for all subjects. I, you, he, she, it, we, they. All of them use were in a hypothetical conditional. If I were, if she were, if you were. It is possible you will hear people using was, if I was, but most grammar books will tell you that that is not good grammar. Most grammarians will tell you it's not good grammar. So the best thing to do is to use were for all subjects if you're talking about the be verb in hypothetical conditional. Finally, wish. When you're talking about a wish, this is different than a hope. A hope is something that you want that is possible. It may come true. A wish is something you want that is not possible. It's, again, only imagined. Because it's only imagined, we need to use hypothetical structure. We use the condition clause idea. That means moving one step back in the verb tense. So I wish I were able to drink coffee, not I wish I am able to drink coffee. We need to move it one step back. The idea is present, but the verb form is past. If I were able to drink coffee, I wish I were able to drink coffee without feeling jittery. That's my wish. So I'm using this hypothetical condition idea. All right, a lot of information here about the conditionals. I hope that you are feeling clear about it. If you are not feeling clear, then go back and listen again. That is a prediction for you to understand it.